What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Sid. Today I'm back to film part 2 of my Nursing Resumes Made Easy with Sydney series. So before we get into this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of my uploads. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up while you're at it. All right, let's get into the video. Okay, so for part 2 of the series, we are going to be discussing content breakdown. I have my little notes here. I don't want to mess up anything, but for part 2, we're going to be discussing content breakdown. So this is how we're going to get into what is actually on the resume. I'll give you guys a little bit more detail on how I did mine as far as the content goes, and we'll go from there. So as stated in part 1, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. I'll link it in the cards. I did a reverse chronological style, which is where after you have your name, contact information, then everything is listed from most recent to least recent in each section. So the first section of the resume, I have an about me portion, and I didn't go too in depth on the about me portion because I do have to do a cover letter. So though they're not necessarily the same thing, I didn't want it to get redundant. So I did about 3 sentences to give a little bit about me, about what I can bring to the table, how I can add resources to the team, and pretty much that's all. Like a little bit more, almost like an elevator pitch before they read the resume itself. I just did 3 sentences in the about me portion. Directly after, I have my name, phone number, email, and all of that good stuff. So after my about me portion, then I moved on into education. And since I do have another degree, this is where we start doing the chronological order. So the degree that I'm working on now, my nursing degree, is going to be the most relevant to the position I'm applying for, and it'll be the most recently earned. So I put what school it was, what the degree is, and my anticipated date of graduation on the opposite side within the same line. For the education portion, that is all that I have, is the degree that I'm earning now, and underneath that, my previous degree, same style, school name, what the degree was, year it was earned. After education, this is where we get into the more nursing-based content. Okay, so after the education portion, I have my clinical experience and I have my professional experience. So for my clinical experience, since I will be a new grad, I was trying to find new graduate resume examples online, on YouTube, on Google, anywhere that I could find a free resource. I was trying to. It wasn't easy to find, so I asked a few nurses at work if they would mind like helping me a little bit, or if they wouldn't mind sharing the resources they were given at their schools or from whoever, if they wouldn't mind. And thankfully one of my coworkers was really nice, and she provided me with the resources that she had, and that helped me a little bit with figuring out how to put my clinical experience on the resume without it looking just like a blob of wordiness. So for clinical experience with the reverse chronological style, my first class ever was fundamentals. My most recent course prior to this coming semester was Med Surg 2. So if we're doing reverse chronological, med-surg 2 is my most recent experience, so that would go first, and you just order it from that class to the one before that was peds, before that maternity, before that med-surg 1, behavioral health, all the way back to fundamentals. So I have that done as my clinical experience. I did not put any descriptions in that section just for the sake of space saving, and I feel like since I have professional experience in the hospital for work, I wanted to save my description stuff for that section of the resume. And if they choose to ask me about my clinical experiences in an interview, then I can dive into that a little bit more then. So following clinical experience, then I have professional experience, and I formatted this the same way as I did my education. So the location of the job, the place of business, the start date to end date, which for my job now is start date to present. And underneath that, I put the actual job title. So what my title was called, or whatever it was listed as when you applied, basically. And then under that is where we start having the descriptions of my role, what I do at work, all of that. And this is where you want to use like strong words. So if it's not a past tense type of thing, don't say something with ed at the end. So like if you observed, you're still working there, so you observe, you're not observed, or you'll be observing still. Just be cautious of the words that you choose. You shouldn't have any I statements or anything where it's like how you would talk to one of your friends. Strong verbs, strong adjectives. I'm not really sure how to explain how to word the content, but it should never be I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Figure out how to say it without saying I. So for example, I have on mine, assist patients with activities of daily living as needed. So they understand what I do, what I have done, what I am doing, without me saying I assisted, or I assist, or I help. It's less personal and more of a statement than just a regular sentence, I guess. So I have my current job, and then I have previous experience that's relevant underneath that, structured the same way with the place, the start date, end date, and then the actual description of the job right beneath that, and then what I did there and all of that. So the last 3 sections of my resume are not necessarily required, but highly encouraged for a nursing resume. Actually, one of them probably would be required. Licenses and certifications would most definitely be required as part of a nursing resume, given that whether you're a new grad or not, you do have to have certain certifications to even be considered for the position. And once you do get your license, obviously you want to have that listed there with whatever relevant information pertaining to the license is necessary. So yeah, that part would be necessary to have on a nursing resume. I have down that I am a CNA. I have my basic life support certification, and I have my mental health first aid certification listed on there with the date it was earned and the expiration, because these are things that you have to renew or keep up every so often, which is also an important thing to have on the resume. And the last two sections, I have my volunteer experience, which is not a requirement, but it also is beneficial to help whoever your future employer may be see that you are a well-rounded individual and that you do other things outside of work, outside of school, whatever that may be. So it just kind of helps them see like, oh, this person cares about helping people, or oh, this person takes time to like give back to their community or something of that nature, which may not seem like a big deal, but you never know, it could be something that sets you apart from your competitor. Lastly, I have skills on my resume. So because I already work in the hospital, I have charting experience with the system that may be used where I work at after graduation. It's beneficial to add that on your resume. If you already know how to chart on whatever software they use, it's beneficial to yourself. It's beneficial to whoever's going to be precepting you. It's beneficial to the whole team because that's one less thing that they have to completely reteach you how to do. And then I just added in a few other things that kind of help sell myself. So, like prioritization of patient care, what else? Effective communication. So that's always helpful. If you can give a good report, get your S-bar together, all that good stuff. Effective communication is always great in any setting, but especially in the hospital because there's so many different components going into one person's care. And I added a few more things there, but for the most part, that's pretty much it for the content portion. Excuse me. That's pretty much it for the content portion. If you guys have any questions, please comment them down below. Again, I will link everything I can in the description. I will put part 1 up in the cards for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have not already, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Comment below your questions or if you have any tips that may be beneficial to me. And hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Be sure to come back for part 3, the final portion of Resumes Made Easy with Sydney. And I'll see you guys next time.